Well, good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday night, so it must mean another show of Talk of the Town. Today is show 377. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Botieri, and I'm filling in again for Karen Bukes. Hello, Karen. I know you're watching and critiquing my program, so I'm going to do extra special tonight for you. Again, welcome to Talk of the Town. We've got a great show. We've actually got two different segments going on this evening. Again, if you do want to call in, it is a live show. 508-830-3971. Okay, let's get to some of our great underwriters. We have Stowell's Cafe and Manomet, great place. Of course, Brewster PC Solutions with Wrestling Brewster, who also has a show right here on PAC TV. Attorneys Trifoletti and Costa on Long Pond Road. And also our underwriters, David and Kevin Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto Body and Service, locations in Samoset and on Sandwich Street right here in Plymouth. So want to welcome to our show this evening a friend of mine for many years, at least since I moved back here to the Plymouth area. We actually met at a chamber event at Cottage Park, I believe it actually was. And to my right and your left is Mike Landers. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the audience and to you.
Great. Yeah, it's kind of fun. We do a lot of things together around town with a couple different organizations, so I'm glad that we're able to bring him in. Mike is founder of Project Arts and also known as the Head Cheese. He's also head of the band Tracks with Emily and Ned. Great band. They play around town a lot, especially down at Pilgrim Sands. And he's also events coordinator and booking agent for many of the acts that you do see around the Plymouth area. I wanted to bring Mike on to talk about Project Arts because it is something that I just joined the board last year. And it's something where it's really just such a great organization to help bring music into our community. You know, our community thrives not just in the commerce that we have here with restaurants and retail, but also the music scene, especially with a lot of the young acts that we have here, a lot of great musicians here in Plymouth. So I'm going to let Mike kind of take it over. And Mike, talk a little bit about Project Arts, if you would.
Okay. Project Arts actually began around 21 years ago. We came together, a local artist named Chris Reverdy came up with the idea, and she hooked up a fellow named Dave Jackson, who was very big on the Cape Cod and southeastern Mass folk music scene. Lloyd Rosenberg, who's a lawyer here in town, and myself, and asked us if we had any thoughts about coming together to produce a concert series in Plymouth. At the time, thinking it might have been a one-year series. We weren't sure what would happen. And the first year we were out there, we had a great season. I think we had $1,300 and 13 shows, and we all ran the PA. We all did, our own marketing and everything else. We've grown very well from that over the years. We're now, this is our 20th annual summer concert series, and we've expanded our Plymouth Harbor Roots and Folk Festival to 2 days this year, and we've got some great acts coming in. Our budget has gone from that $13,000 up to, say, $80,000 now, and we bring in, with that $80,000, we're a 100% volunteer organization. So all of our costs go directly to the artists and to the sound and lighting and infrastructure and the cost for permitting from DCR and so forth. So we probably bring you for that $80,000 about $350,000 to $500,000 worth of entertainment. So we negotiate well, negotiate tough, and artists like to come back year after year because we can put 3,500 people in front of them and up. Some shows have been as much as 10,000 over the years. So on a Wednesday night in a beautiful setting in Plymouth, what more can you ask for?
And you talk about the the value that you bring for the musicians and the people here, but also the value to a lot of local retailers and restaurants that people come here, and then after the events, I know, having worked with you this past year, there's a group that comes down from Braintree pretty much every Wednesday night, and they will not miss one of these shows. And then, of course, after the shows, they go out to all the restaurants, and so I think it's something that I think more restaurants probably need to be cognizant of that. And obviously, as we look for giveaways that we do at the show during intermissions, anybody that runs a restaurant out there, if you'd be more than willing to give some gift certificates that we could give away, we'd love to have that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have some people that travel actually from even New Hampshire and Rhode Island that come to the shows year after year, and they plan their time off so that they're off during the week, and they stay at hotels in Plymouth and spend the night, and they've been coming for many years, and it's a family operation. I mean, we produce shows that are family friendly, so we've got now generations. Now that we're at our 20th year, we actually have kids that were in diapers that came with their parents 20 years ago that are now grown up, and some of them have even gone into the music industry in some form or other because they were so inspired over the years, which is nice. It's kind of going full circle.
Yeah, and again, these are the concerts that are every Wednesday night starting in June 24th.
June 24th.
June 24th. And they kick off around 6:30ish.
Yeah, 6:30 to 9:30 every Wednesday through the summer, and then July 11 and 12 this year we'll have the Plymouth Harbor Roots and Folk Festival. I can give you guys the scoop on what we've got coming up.
Yeah, please do. What's in the, as they say, what's in the lineup?
Yeah, it's nearly fully booked. I've been working madly for the last couple of weeks trying to finalize things, and as recently as 10 minutes ago, made a counter offer to one band that I'm hoping to bring in. But starting June 24th, we have one of New England's best bands right now. They're on the hot list, as they say, in New England, called High Hopes, and they're a reggae band. And then we have a local group called Jackson Weatherby has a group called Cornerstone that's going to open for them. So we like to promote the younger artists from our region as well. July 1st, we have Soul City from Boston,
awesome
an amazing 10-piece horn band. Hey 19, which is the official Steely Dan tribute band, is coming in on July 8th, and they're actually going to be coming in shortly after a tour with Steely Dan, so they should be very hot at the point when they get to Plymouth.
Awesome.
July 15th, we have Steve Smith and the Nakeds. They're a great band. They actually toured for years with the big band from Springsteen's band, and hit when Springsteen wasn't on tour. They toured with him. Of course, the name escapes me. My brain's not working. July 22nd, we've got a local night with Cheap Vuva, opened by Ann English, who is has long history here in Plymouth. She comes back once a year, and we've tried to bring her into the show. On July 29th, we've got a group from Geneva called The Bridge and Band, and they are one of the hottest groups in Europe right now. They have an opener, Ultimate Soul, which is an incredible band from Boston. August 5th, it's tentative. I'm still negotiating, but we're getting closer. It looks like the Mallet Brothers Band with Jake Hill and Deep Creek opening that show. August 12th, Divas with a Twist.
Nice.
Amazing group of 5 women with a great backup band.
And we just recently had them right before Christmas at the Spires
That's right.
Center.
They did our fundraiser event, Christmas party at the Spire, and we will be bringing them back again this year. It was an incredible show, and bringing back one of Boston's favorite a cappella groups, Ball in the House, is going to open the show that night.
Nice.
August 19th is to be announced. I can't tell. I've got it almost done, but
Drum roll, please.
And then
and on the 26th, we got Adam Ezra.
All right, August 19th, I'm 90% negotiated with Fahrenheit at the moment, so we'll see if that works.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes.
Perhaps by the time the show finishes. On August 26th, we have Adam Ezra and friends coming in. And if you weren't here for the last year's final show, an amazing climax to the summer. And moving back to the Plymouth Harbor Roots and Folk Fest, I've still got a few acts to book in that, but we have the Kennedys. I just got off the phone with Pete about an hour ago, and they're generously going to open the Saturday show for us.
Oh, nice.
Chikula, who's coming in with the Hunger Bus, and this is a place where you can, if you want to bring canned goods or non-perishables down, he promotes feeding the hungry all over the country, and he plays music in between sets on the main stage. And if you bring food to him, what he does is he donates it to the local food bank after, before he leaves town. Gracie Morrison, who's doing very well on the market. She's a local gal from Wareham. Mark T. Small, amazing blues guitarist. Soulbox, the Delta Generators, the Jim Libby Band, I just confirmed about 2 hours ago. Roberto Morboli. And everybody says, who is that? He's supposed to be the hottest guitarist in Europe right now.
Flamenco guitar, or just a classic?
He has a blues R&B band.
Oh, nice.
4-piece band. They're from Spain, and he's going to open the show on Sunday.
Fantastic.
And Annie Wenz, is a legendary singer-songwriter who's played numerous Project Arts events, as well as many, many folk festivals around the country. So that's what we have so far, and there are more announcements to be made.
And let me tell you, having just worked a few times, last summer with Mike, but also having attended these free Wednesday concert series, just this surrounding, you're sitting there. We've got now with the help of Ed. Ed McGee. Ed McGee. We've got the new stage down at the waterfront. Eddie Santos. Sorry, Ed. I'm like Mike. I must be getting close to his age. And that setting. You've got the water there. You've got the Mayflower. You've got people and their families sitting on blankets and chairs, and it is truly a destination for people on Wednesday nights. But Mike, what really was the inspiration behind, obviously your love of music? Talk about your background in music, because I think it's pretty spectacular where you've been and what you've done.
Well, I'm actually just some guy in music. Like, there are many, many people out there who've dedicated their lives to it. Mm-hmm. And I was fortunate enough. My dad was a professional saxophonist, which I actually didn't find out about until I was probably in my late 30s.
Wow.
He didn't want me in the music business, and
whoops.
And we didn't get along too well. So the more he wanted me out, I was in. At age 8, I was doing stage work. I was playing in roadhouses and roller skating rinks in Maine with my older brother's band, and things like that. And then at age 10, I was on television, WCSH over in Portland for some shows on the Ken McKenzie Show. And then 14, I toured for a couple of years with the Checkmates. And then at 16, I toured with B.B. King and a bunch of other
God rest his soul. We just lost him last week.
Up until, he was definitely a surrogate dad for a while for me. Yeah. And then at 22, I came off the road, but I learned so much about producing events during that whole period of time, and that's really some years later, after I started my booking agency. And started getting involved with nonprofits like Muscular Dystrophy, mm-hmm.
which you were a big supporter of and helped raise a lot of money
43 years with them, and in 1 year, I raised something like $7 million for them with events that I put on, and I was not aware of it when I did the events. When they announced it in front of a large audience one night, I said something very inappropriate.
You?
Like, no, something. And I was surprised. But anyway, so I've been very, very fortunate, and part of what I've done over the years is music and the arts have never been about the money for me. It's mm-hmm. It's been about bringing people to the art and bringing the art to the people. Mm-hmm. And I've lived my life that way, and it gives me great confidence in what I do because I do that. And so I try to inspire other people, whether it's young artists coming up. I mentor as much as I can, inspiring folks like you and other people.
Yeah, you've been a big inspiration to me.
I drag them into the nonprofit work, that whether they want to be there or not.
Well, I just got a quick story. When I first came, bumped into Mike at the Cordage Park. This might have been, 03? We were setting up something for the chamber there, and I met you there.
Probably.
And I told him, I says, I'm a closet guitar player. And so he said, well, we do this open mic thing down at the original Burt's, down we had the sunken bar. Mm-hmm. And so Mike says, come on by and bring a guitar and get up there and play a little while. Well, I was scared to death. I knew like maybe 4 songs. And so I kept going. But I would never bring my guitar, so I would have an excuse not to get up there and play. And Mike would go, "You're wimping out again on me. You're wimping out again." So I was there one time with a friend of mine, Jennifer, and we were sitting there and we listened to some guy get up and play. And I turned to her and I said, I said, I think I sound better than this guy. And she goes, you do. Stop being a wuss and go bring your guitar next time. So I went home and I practiced 5 songs, so I knew them without having to look at the lyrics. I could do them, without being fear, because that's tough getting up in front of a group naked like that, if you will. And so I got up and so Mike introduced me. He goes, something along the lines of, and finally, I'm bringing up Andrew Botieri, who, finally had the nerve to get up and play after coming from many months never bringing his guitar. So that sort of, made me even more afraid to get up there. And I remember I played 5 songs, and, everybody was clapping, and it sounded good. Then Mike goes, play another song. And I'm like going, those are the only 5 I know. So I said, by special request, that I played another song that I'd played earlier. And then Mike said to me, he says, you got a great sound. He said, if you can learn about, 50 songs or so, he says, I can start booking you. So I crammed and I listed all the songs I'd ever wanted to play and learned them. And so Mike's been booking me now for, matter of fact, I think 2002, as a matter of fact. I still have a copy of the check that I got for the tavern.
Run-of-the-mill?
Run-of-the-mill tavern. I still have it. It was June 2nd, 2002. So I must have met you 2001 then.
Yeah.
And I have that down in my office in my basement, and I always look up at that with a smile on my face. So I owe this guy so much to do with my music career, because if not, I'd probably still be a closet guitar player. Talk, Mike, about which we just experienced this past summer or this past winter as members of the Project Arts Board of Directors, but the collaboration between you and the Spire Center.
Okay. Well, Project Arts has always been at a quandary to raise money. It's really been an issue trying to find sponsors and get support from within the community to raise the money for all of these shows, and it's been an ongoing writing grants and being, disappointed sometimes, and corporations that go out of business that had been supporting us for a long time, and different things like that. It's always an up and down game trying to find the money to do these shows for free for the public. So I was very excited when the Spire became a reality. And as soon as they did, I started collaborating with one of our former board members, Lloyd Rosenberg, who happens to be on the board for that organization. And not only did Project Arts do a number of shows there, I think we've done 12 or 13, 14 shows there this winter. Some of those were in collaboration with the Spire, and where we both accepted half of the costs and for the most part accepted half of the profits. So we managed over the course of the winter to raise, I don't know, 10 to 15,000 from the various shows we did. And so the Spire is a great winter home for us, and it gives those of you in the community an opportunity to support Project Arts by coming out and supporting our nonprofit organization, coming out to see a great show through the winter. You do have to pay for those shows, but that's the money that pays for the summer concert series. So that's been a great event. We also, something that we have done separate from all of that is we are now, we've taken over the great task of producing the annual A Toast to the Arts event, which myself and Honey Wise and Deb Tanis and a few other people started in the Cultural Council.
Also known as the Arties.
Called the Arties, some 10 or 12 years ago. And might have even been 14. But anyway, we did our first one this winter. And we got to honor some tremendous people in the community, from Eddie Santos to
Joyce and Jeff Stewart,
and Terry Murray, and the Priscilla Beach Theater, and Plymouth Cinema, and all sorts of folks, individuals and so forth. And next year we hope that it'll be even bigger and better. And of course, we did a little better than breaking even this year, which was great. And hopefully next year that'll also help fund part of our summer concert series and bring great recognition to people in the community that have gone above and beyond in the area of the arts.
Well, and it really was, I remember when I was sitting on the board of directors at the Plymouth Library Corporation, we were involved in one of them. I can't remember if it was at the Plantation it might have been at. But I just remember being there, and because I was there with Dinah O'Brien and some of the other members of the board at the Plymouth Library Corporation, and just to really see the dedication that so many people in this town give very selflessly. Ed Santos is one. He said, he goes something
Quietly.
along the line. Exactly. He said something about I just want to be known for helping Plymouth move forward and for Plymouth to grow. That's all I care about. And he's done such a spectacular job. Other people, and I know maybe at some point Joyce and Jeff Stewart might be watching this, but she threatened to kill both Mike and I if we presented them and nominated them for award. We did, and we're still alive, so I guess that worked out okay. But we also really, in this town, which you've been here for how many years now?
I think 23, I would say, something like that. 24.
Talk a little bit about just the music scene itself, because I mean, I hear from people. I work in Braintree. I got friends in Boston, and so many people outside of this area just say, we love coming to Plymouth on a weekend night because there's just you could go to 15 different places and there's live music. I mean, where else can you do that?
Yeah.
Except for in the city.
Yeah, Plymouth has really become known for a great nightlife, lots of restaurants, all kinds of restaurants. There's hardly anything in town that you can't find right now, some national from some other nationality, or
all different
specialized
ethnics.
cooking, gourmet cooking to home cooked stuff. And so that has along with having great live entertainment. Plymouth has grown in live entertainment and gotten away from canned entertainment and DJs so much. More into producing events and live performances in the clubs, and some of them have very, very unique music that's going on in them. Some of them are featuring jazz and sort of eclectic pop music that you don't get to hear typically in most rooms. And so we have artists. I know in my case, I have artists, hundreds of artists that contact me constantly looking to get into one of those places, and there's so few jobs for the number that are coming in. But like you say, for the listening public, you can go out, you can have a great meal, you can have a cocktail, and you get to listen to terrific music, and practically any night of the week year round.
Yeah.
And that's something that it started really when this whole resurgence in the arts started around 20 years ago. Project Arts came in. We then had the Art Center on North Street. That's been huge for promoting things. The Chamber, some very active people on the Chamber committee. Michelle Pecoraro and I were on the tourism committee way back when, and that was one of the things we were always pushing for, was a lot more in the arts. And Plymouth has started to realize the untapped resource that arts and tourism provide for this town. And so instead of just coming to Plymouth to embrace the history, now it's arts, history, recreation, and so much more.
Well, and I think it's kind of interesting to see, because of that, the music scene, during the daytime, the waterfront always seems to be crowded, people walking all around. But at nighttime, it now seems to be the crowds up on Main Street, because there's so many different places from Driftwood to Full Sail to Lou's to New World Tavern, that it's really, which is good because it helps those businesses up there. Some of the small businesses, for the little restaurants. I know there's I forget the name of the Thai restaurant, and then you've also got some new places that have opened up, like Anna Marie's Dessert Cafe, that really get that crowd that's up there at nighttime. And I think it's really poignant to really see that change and that shift, where everybody always talks about being down at the waterfront. So it's been great.
That's so true. Yeah, it's definitely growing, and I think in the right direction. I know there are issues at times with the bars and so forth, but in any town you have that, and the greater walking police presence and greater observing of patrons by bartenders and so forth, and offering rides and offering taxis and things like that. All of these things come into play, and encouraging the education in the community, towards how to act in these, when you're out at night, especially with the younger kids, as we all had our days. And
well, we've got probably about a minute left. And do we have a call? Oh, we got a call. Who's this?
Hi, This is Bob calling.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
I'm doing great. My question is, at the Wednesday concerts, are you going to have the 50-50 raffle again? And what is that money used for?
That money, yes, we will have the 50-50 raffle. That's our biggest, one of our biggest draws that we have. And all that money, every single cent of it, except for the half that the person gets, goes right back into funding the bands. And so 100% of those, of that 50-50 goes back into helping to bring you and the community more and more better music each year. And we've actually had some occasions where somebody has taken half of the money that they get for the 50-50, they peel off 25% of that and actually hand it back to us to give that back to the music. So great question. And are we going to see you there this summer, Bob?
You bet.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, wow. And that's great. Yeah, the 50-50 is awesome. You'll see me up. I have the dubious distinction of manning Coles Hill. I'm a Coles Hill boy up there selling raffle tickets. But, Mike, we've got about a minute left. Talk about what people that are watching tonight, and as this will be rebroadcasted, what people can do in the town of Plymouth, and even outside of Plymouth, what they can do to help with Project Arts, and I know you've got a website you can push people to as well.
Yeah, I would first of all, during the off season, I would encourage you to come out and support those shows at the Spire, and not just the ones that Project Arts does with them, collaborates with them on, but also the ones that the Spire does, because it's a great venue. It's a wonderful place if you haven't been there, and it's a little bit of money out of your pocket. You're giving it to a 501c3, and we're helping to do these shows. So that's a great place to help during the off season, and that makes it a little easier on us, so that I'm not like right now 4 days late on my marketing deadline trying to book the final bands, because I now have a pretty good idea of what the budget is. So that would help us as well. We're also still seeking donations from the community, and also with businesses. If they'd like to get themselves into this, they really should contact us, because it's a great way to help the community, help the arts in Plymouth, and bring big recognition. I mean, 3,500 to 4,500 people on average on a Wednesday night. Also the Roots and Folk Festival, which will draw a huge number over 2 days. And starting this year, because we are doing the shows at the Spire, any sponsor that comes in is also going to get their name out there throughout the entire winter series. And so it's a 1 year commitment for this. It's a lot of bang for your buck if you come in and help us out. We're also still looking for vendors and food concessions and children's activities for our Plymouth Harbor Roots and Folk Festival. You can find us you can get information on us. It needs to be updated at the moment, but you can find out contact information at www.projectarts.com. Kind of more current information on our Facebook page. If you're on there, you can call me directly, and I generally field a lot of calls and send them off to the people they need to talk to. My telephone number is 508-747-7727. That's 508-747-7727. Or you can email me at nightmusicco@verizon.net. That's NIGHTMUSICCO@verizon.net. And I'll certainly forward your information. If you're a vendor, I'll hook you up with Norm Robertson, who is our vendor specialist, and we'll get you involved with what we're doing down there. But above all else, come out to the shows.
Come out to the shows.
Come out to the shows.
Be part of the scene. Be part of an incredible experience, and so we expect everybody to be there. Mike, we talk almost weekly, you and I, but it's nice to have you in this venue, and I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so
again,
much.
Project Arts, Mike Landers, also a town meeting member. Mike's involved in so many different aspects of the town. Maybe we'll bring you back some other time to talk about that stuff. But anyways, we're going to take a quick short break, and we're going to bring up Johnny and Linda Medlin, who are dear friends of mine, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming Scleroderma Walk that we have for a cure. which is Sunday, June 14th, which is the autoimmune disease that I am afflicted with. And it's a dear cause to me and also to Johnny and Linda as well. So we're going to probably take about a 2-minute, 3-minute break while we reshuffle things here. So, Ken, do we have the dancing girls?
No, but you're going to have to keep talking.
I'm going to have to keep talking. Okay. Mike, again, thanks for coming on in. And again, if you need to get a hold of Mike, 508-747-7727 or projectarts.com.
Hello, I am Christopher Hart from the Nathan Hale Veterans Outreach Centers. We are committed to serving our veterans through free programs for veterans and their families. Our programs include transportation to and from the VA facilities in Brockton and Boston, a wellness program that offers arts, yoga, cycling, readjustment counseling, PTSD counseling, and a food pantry, and much, much more. If you would like to help or are in need of these services, please call us at 508-747-2003.
The Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce is a business organization of roughly 750 members across the Lower South Shore. We exist to serve not only local businesses, but the community at large. We offer a variety of business networking opportunities by being a strong voice on local and regional business issues, by offering educational seminars and special programs to our members, and by developing and supporting economic development initiatives that improve the overall quality of life in the region. The Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce, it works for everyone.
Well, we're back again after a brief commercial interruption, which was me talking. Anyways, I want to welcome back to Talk of the Town. Again, this is show 377, and this is the second half of our program today. As several of you know, and have known me around town for quite a while, I moved back to this area after being on the West Coast, where I contracted a rare autoimmune disease called scleroderma. And at that point, like most people, and I know, and people that I've talked to over the years, it's something that initially everybody thinks they're the only ones that have it. And, back in 2000 when I was afflicted by this, pretty much I was one of the few males surviving this autoimmune disease, where it shut my kidneys down and I almost died in an emergency room. And I always like to get my little shameless plug in, but I did end up writing a book which Karen Bukes has interviewed me a couple times on, called A Celebration of Life, A Story of Hope, a Miracle, and the Power of Attitude. And the book really talks about the adversity that we go through, myself and also Linda Medlin, who's here next to her son Johnny, who's afflicted with scleroderma, as well as many of the people that she knows and that I know that have to deal with this on a daily basis. So really what we wanted to do tonight, we've got our 7th annual Plymouth Stepping Out to Scleroderma Walk. It's called the Walk, Talk, and Rock. Starts at Nelson Beach. We work our way through town, up Nelson Street, down along Court to Main, down Water Street, back around the waterfront, and back to Nelson. And the walk this year is on June 14th, and it's something where we continue to get, about 250 plus people that come to this event. It's rain or shine. The registration begins at 10 a.m. and the walk begins at noontime, rain or shine. But what we really wanted to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about the disease, scleroderma, but also just really wanted to ask you, the people of Plymouth and the surrounding towns, to find it in yourselves, to come on out to help support this program. And you can support it in many other ways. I know one of the areas that Johnny is overseeing are going to be the raffle items. So if there's anybody out there that would be interested in raffling, giving us some items to raffle, whether it's restaurant coupons, gift certificates, what are some of the other things, Johnny, that we have there?
There's a bunch of stuff. The baskets are a huge hit, and then we have tickets, Red Sox tickets, just all different gift certificates of big sports, sports, framed pictures, signs, just anything that will help us raise money for this disease. Yeah, and I know last couple of years we've averaged between $23,000 and $25,000. And so I think it's something that we really want to continue with and just bust those numbers, bust those numbers right out. Are we doing okay? We're doing fine.
Awesome. But I did want to introduce your mom, Linda Medlin, who I know is a big hero of yours and also of mine, because when Linda and I, especially during the wintertime, cold is not a good friend of ours, is it, Linda?
No, it's not.
And I know you struggle with it, quite a bit.
Yeah, Andrew and I actually met, I'm trying to think, is it 3 or 4 years ago?
think
We
it's
met at T-Bones
Yeah.
for a meeting
For
for
a
the Scleroderma Walk.
meeting,
And I remember at the time we were putting together a fundraiser, a comedy night.
Yeah.
And you walked in, I had no idea who you were. And they just said, Andrew's coming. You were a little late. And
fashionably
you came in
late.
with your books.
Yeah.
And you were great. I mean, you just like took over the meeting. And I said to Johnny, I've got to get him to talk at our fundraiser because you were just like, you were so great about telling your story and you were a great speaker. And that's when I really learned about your struggle with scleroderma. And I myself have struggled for almost 20 years. It wasn't even called scleroderma when I was first diagnosed.
Oh, no kidding.
It was called CREST syndrome.
CREST syndrome, yep.
So most people didn't even know what scleroderma was. I think people today still don't know what scleroderma is. Sclero is tightening, and derma is skin. It's tightening of the skin, and it affects you from your head to your toes. My first symptom was Raynaud's and my digital ulcers, and I didn't know what they were. I was a skier then, gone up with the family to Sunday River, and I had my first ulceration on a long weekend, and I had no idea what it was, but it was so painful. It was horrible, and that was my first symptom. And I've had those symptoms of Raynaud's ever since. The ulcers are usually on 4 of my fingers every winter for sure. The summer, the heat used to actually help them. They still help them, but they don't dissolve them. I tell people, when you get a paper cut in the winter or any time of the year, multiply it by 100 and have that on 4 of your fingers and try to just do an everyday task like opening a can,
Tying a shoe,
anything, anything at all with your hands. It's a tough. But then other symptoms started to occur. I had a lot of esophageal problems, trouble swallowing, acid reflux, which affects other problems like digestive issues, a lot of extremity problems. My feet are not as bad as my hands. My ears, everything that's extremities definitely hurts, but nothing as bad as the ulcers. But
well, I know this past winter, because for the last couple of years since I've known you, you've mentioned about the ulcers and having the disease myself. Mine has just mainly been stiffness and tightness. Obviously, I've only got about 50% of my kidneys. I was on dialysis for 6 months, which was, as I still say today, probably the most humbling experience anyone can ever go through. And my mother was diagnosed November of 2013 with lung cancer. And so my sisters and I, and my brother, we were taking care of her. And then eventually, as she started to get worse, she passed. Actually, this next Saturday or next Sunday, this June 7th, will be 1 year that Mom's been gone, and I started to get these digital ulcers. And I talked to Dr. Sims at BU Medical, who we share him as a doctor.
Yes.
Great guy. Matter of fact,
didn't even
he's coming to the
realize.
walk.
He told me.
I shamed him to come to the walk.
Happy. Yeah.
But you get these. What started out as like little black dots on your fingertips, and then it becomes an open sore. And so for once, it's like when I survived an earthquake, and you can't really explain an earthquake to somebody unless somebody's been in an earthquake. And so when I started getting these ulcers, they came about July. Mom died June. It was actually July. And they were so bad, I had a couple on this hand, which is my guitar playing hand, that I couldn't play guitar anymore. And for me, the love of music and the love of playing, that to me really, I think, even connected me more with Linda, because I know really what she's going through. And as we always, Linda and I talk, text back and forth, that unless you really have this disease, it's really hard to explain it to people.
It really is, because I think it's a disease for sure that you suffer in silence, because people can't see your daily struggles. And like you mentioned, your mother was sick. Stress is definitely a trigger. It's not the cause of the disease, but it definitely triggers it and makes your situation worse, for sure. Stress plays a huge role in it, because when my mom died, she died a couple of years ago, and same thing, except that was the first time I experienced some of the digestive issues, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 20 pounds.
Wow.
And, bacterial overgrowth in the digestive system is a huge factor, and that's what happened to me. And I came back from that, thank God, but it's a matter of strong will. Like, you just have to really take this disease that has no cure for it and just every day feel like you're going to do something that day to make yourself feel better the next day. That's how I feel. And so,
that was
we power on.
And that was in part my subtitle is A Story of Hope and Miracle in the Power of Attitude, because when I was in the hospital, and again, this was, and now they've gotten so many different remedies and therapies that they can use on people. Some are very effective, especially with people that get it in their lung and they have to get a lung transplant. They do now have medicines that actually will help the lung the body take the lung. In some cases, it does reject it. But I can remember when the doctor first said to me, you've got scleroderma, and I looked at him and I said, "Sclero what?" And he proceeded to tell me it's a disease that they don't know what causes it. There's no cure, and that the mortality rate is 50%. But it really came down to the doctor. One of the doctors said to me, you got to have a strong attitude. So I, pretty much every day, like Linda says, you have to come with your A game. And I remember even when I was on dialysis, and the doctors were telling me that I might be on dialysis for the rest of my life, or at least till we could get a kidney transplant. And I kept telling the doctors that I'm going to be off of this in 6 months. And some of the doctors were enthusiastic. We love your attitude, Andrew. And I'll never forget one doctor that pointed at me and he said, "Andrew, you don't know what you're dealing with." And I pointed back up in the doctor's face and I said, "No, you don't know who you're dealing with. I'm going to be off of this in 6 months, and by the grace of God and prayers from thousands of people from around the country, and also just, again, the perseverance that we go through." And Johnny, you've seen your mother persevere through all this. That also helps. But what also helps is that people like you, contributing and donating. You can always get a hold of me at Andrew Botieri at 508-747-9883 if you would like to get involved. And if you can donate any prizes for raffles, just call me and I'll forward that stuff over to Johnny and have you work with Johnny. But we've got a lot of local places, from Family Pizza to Kingston House of Pizza to Ernie's to the Taunton Farmers Market. They're all donating pizzas and fruit and everything. We've got clowns. We've got...
it's a fun family day.
It's a fun family day. It's right down in Nelson Park, so you've got the new water park there. You got the beaches right there. And it just really is, something that that we're really asking for more help and support. I think one of the things that really baffles me is that, if I said to you ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, everybody knows about that. Though, unless you have a family member who's afflicted with scleroderma, nobody really hears about it. They might go, I think I might know somebody.
And I remember when I started doing the comedy night the first year, I would say about 90% of the people attending didn't even know how to pronounce the word. Right. And then when they came in, we had you speaking, Dr. Sims speaking. We had little things hanging up all around the room, just with little things about the disease and what you guys go through. Yeah. And that was the big thing for me, seeing people walk out of there and actually knowing more than when they walked in. I mean, it was great to raise money and all that, and it was just great to hear people walking out saying, "I didn't know this. I had no idea."
Because it is an autoimmune disease. It's an autoimmune disease like so many others. And autoimmune diseases are mysteries in so many ways. So this walk on June 14th, it's so important that people take part in it, know what it is, because the research money that goes to Scleroderma Walk is also going to other autoimmune diseases. It's helping so many other people. and causes, and it's just a great day. It's a
Oh, and
great day and for a great cause.
And so to give people an idea, you've got rheumatoid arthritis is sort of the top of the umbrella because I was misdiagnosed for 9 months with rheumatoid arthritis because of the stiffness in the hands and the feet and the pain. And then you've got the offshoots, which is scleroderma, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, CREST. You've got lupus. I don't know if I'm probably forgetting a couple, but those are all autoimmune. And what happens in the case of Linda and I and other people who are afflicted with scleroderma is our body, or our ANA, anti-nuclear antibodies, our body thinks it's under attack. So when you cut yourself, the scar tissue that goes on, the scar tissue that comes on, that's actually your collagen in your body going to protect and heal that wound. Our body thinks it's under attack 24/7, so our body overproduces the collagen, and the stiffness is the crystallization, if you will, of that collagen. I think we have a call coming in. Ken? Hello.
Hi,
Who's this?
this is Peggy.
Hey, Peggy. It's Andrew and Johnny and Linda. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have a question or anything you'd like to say?
I wanted to just actually promote the walk on the 14th. I've been doing it every year, and I'm very fond of Linda sitting there, and Johnny as well. And I just want to tell everybody out there, it is a great day. It is a great family day, and even if you can't come, you can sign up online, give a small donation. But if you can come and can't do the walk, you can do the silent auctions, you can do the raffle. There's actually some exercise that we do before we walk.
The stretching.
It's really just a great, great day, and I wanted to have people hear from me and know that we promote this with all of our hearts.
That's wonderful, Peggy, and I think I know who you are. I think I've met you before.
She's a great supporter of scleroderma.
Yeah, and it's people like you, Peggy, and the rest of the public that, again, realize the importance of this, and to get your group and coming on out and spreading the word. I think that's the biggest thing is, what you're saying, and even Johnny, is really just making people aware. So, we have fact sheets, which we didn't have in the past, because people would still come to the walk and still not really know what the disease was all about.
Right.
So
That's the big thing.
and it's wonderful. We're going to have food as well, and now that my fingers are better, I might even do some playing. Last year I didn't play mainly because I think there was just too much going on. I was the pizza guy. I had to run around town.
We fixed that this year. You were gone for a while last year.
And I was just going to say, the pizza, the donuts, even that, they're all great too.
Yeah,
It's a great day.
Food is good. Food is good.
Very good.
Well, Peggy, we thank you, and again, continue to spread the good word, and we'll see you on June 14th at the walk.
Thanks, Peggy.
Thank Peggy.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. See, we have more than 3 listeners listening to this show.
It's good to know.
And it's something where, again, Linda was talking about the money that's raised. I got to speak in Atlanta on July of 2012 at the National Patients Conference for Scleroderma because I'm one of the few male survivors, and I almost felt, and I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, I remember sharing it with Jack Armitage, who's the executive director for the New England Scleroderma Foundation, that I really didn't feel like I should have been there because the people that were there were so worse off than I was. Just meeting these people and seeing the pain and the challenges. One lady, young woman, was in a wheelchair. She couldn't feed herself. And that's how debilitating this disease can get. As I was saying earlier, that with ALS only affects 25,000 to 30,000 people. Again, everybody knows about ALS. Scleroderma, the numbers are 250,000 to 300,000 people it affects. So to have that dichotomy of those numbers and still people not really knowing what scleroderma is all about. I mean, we're getting some great press with Jason Alexander, George Costanza, his sister Karen has it. Bob Saget of home video fame, his sister Gay actually died of it. And he was recently on the Meredith Vieira show talking about that experience. Queen Latifah Her mother has it. Running back Barry Sanders, for the former retired Hall of Famer for the Detroit Lions, his sister has it. And I think hopefully, as more and more of these people get it, they can become the spokesperson, because they have, a much better bully pulpit than we seem to have. And then are we going to be doing the comedy show this coming year?
We're not this year, but hopefully we'll get back at it next year.
Okay.
Focusing on the walk.
Yeah. Because
I'm still hoping that even with the awareness of ALS, that will help also to hopefully find a cure for any other autoimmune disease. Even though ALS might affect less people and people don't know about scleroderma, hopefully, with donating to all these causes of autoimmune diseases that, will help with the research program. I know I've been part of many research programs in the past 15 years, and it's really helpful if people donate to this, because the money is going to help find a cure for these diseases, and that's what we need. We need more awareness, and we need the research money.
Yeah. And it's also starting to, we're also seeing that it is, and when I was at the patients conference in Atlanta in 2012, a couple things, we're talking about the stress. But before I actually get into that, we have another caller. Wow, this is awesome. Another caller. Who do we have?
Of course you do. How many cookies did Andrew eat?
Davey G, buddy, how are you?
Well, I didn't want you to think I wasn't paying attention, so I just wanted to mention that you're probably the poster boy for Scleroderma, and you're probably the most upbeat person I've ever known. And since I met you when you first came back to town and you were doing your motivational speaking, you just you raise the awareness for everything you do, and especially Scleroderma.
Well, I appreciate it, Dave, and I thank you for your support of the walk as well. I appreciate that, and you're a great guy too. I mean, you do a lot with all the organizations you work with, Lions Club, and all those organizations, which again is all about helping find cures and helping people that are less fortunate. So I appreciate it. I actually will be dropping one of these flyers down to your garage, to your auto body place, so you can put this up someplace. So I'll make sure I get that to you this week. But don't forget, you owe me some Italian sausage.
That's right. You know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to grab the freezer tonight and bring it with me tomorrow. And you can stop by anytime and get it. But yeah, bring me some flyers. And I don't know if the Lions Club made a donation, but bring me something. I'll try to bring it up at the next board meeting.
Wonderful, Dave. Thank you very much, buddy. Love you. And I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations.
Thanks. Great guy. He's Cape Auto. They're an underwriter of this show as well. Okay. But he and his son, it's actually 4 generations. His grandfather, his father, Dave, and now his son have all been involved with Cape Auto. So it's just, again, a great story. But one of the things I was going to say was that when I was at that conference in 2012, and I can remember I had Dr. Korn. Did you know Dr. Korn?
No, but I heard of him.
Yeah,
I did hear of him.
He was my doctor at BU Medical, and then he, unfortunately and sadly, died of cancer. So then then Dr. Sims became my doctor. That's how that transition happened. And I remember, because I was doing a startup.com company, part of a great group. I was working 80+ hours a week, just going. I was a madman, wild man, as my team called me. And I wasn't taking care of myself. I was working 7 days a week. And so the analogy when I've spoken about scleroderma on stage is I take out a balloon and I start blowing it up. Every stressful event, I keep blowing it up till eventually the balloon burst. And that's what happened to me. And I remember talking to Dr. Korn, and I said, I know that I got this disease from stress. I said, there's, everything else being aside, I wasn't eating right, exercising, I wasn't sleeping. And so my autoimmune system just plummeted. And I think that's how the disease got a grab on me. And I remember Dr. Korn said to me, he says, well, we have no proof. I'm a medical doctor and I need medical facts. And I was kind of pissed at him. I was like, I know my body pretty well. Well, to and this was probably 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. And in 2012, when I was at that conference, there were 3 different research doctors that talked about the effect that stress had on scleroderma. And I sat there in the chair and I looked up in the sky and I jokingly said, "Told you, Dr. Korn." But I think that stress is a trigger for so many other diseases and illnesses.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna. Well, we got about a minute and a half to go as we start to fade out. Linda, any parting words that you'd like to say?
Just that you and I are 2 of the lucky ones. You know, we really are, because you see us and you don't realize everything we go through. There's a lot of people that die from this disease. A lot of people, and just feel like we're 2 of the lucky ones.
They're in a wheelchair. That guy Paul, the young guy Paul, that's come to our walk the last couple of times. Poor guy is bedridden. Even in the summertime, he wears winter clothes because he's so cold. He thought he was the only one that had the disease. Now he comes every year, and it's wonderful. Johnny, how about yourself?
He's my biggest supporter.
Oh, this guy is incredible.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm marrying him and his fiance.
Yes, he is.
I was blown away.
Just to come out and support the walk, or even if it's just telling somebody about this disease, spreading the word. That's all we need, just to spread the word. And if you can come out, that'd be great. It's a fun day, great for the family.
And you can also go on to www.scleroderma.org/stepping-out-Plymouth. Or again, you can call me, Andrew Botieri, at 508-747-9883. We also need some volunteers that morning as well. And again, really appreciate Linda and Johnny coming in. 2 of my new friends. Part of why we call each other our Scleroderma family. And they are a wonderful, loving, supporting family that she has around her, and you need that. That's why I moved back here, because my family was all here and I was on the West Coast, so it is nice to come back. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, Talk of the Town. I will actually be here again next Wednesday on the 3rd. I'll be having Deborah Woodson and Sheila Fay in from the Plymouth Bay Cultural District. Again, this is show 377, and when it's Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, you know it's Talk of the Town. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.